Zeno. Picture a small child who barely reaches your waist, speaks in simple two-word phrases, and gets excited about party games. Now, imagine that same child can delete entire universes with a casual wave of his hand. That's Zeno from Dragon Ball Super. Zeno looks completely harmless. His round face and tiny body make him seem innocent. But this appearance hides the most destructive power in all of fiction. He claps his hands when he's happy and asks simple questions about everything he sees. When Zeno erases a universe, it ceases to exist, like deleting a folder of billions of files. Sources show Zeno erased multiple universes, 6 before the series and 7 during the Tournament of Power, which pushes his toll into the quadrillions. His kill count reaches these numbers because he operates on a universal scale, where single decisions affect countless worlds. During the Tournament of Power, you watch him casually wave goodbye to Universe 2 and Universe 6. He smiles while doing it. Those waves erase trillions of lives in seconds, and to him, it's just cleaning up after a game. What makes this terrifying is his timeline. Zeno has ruled over all Dragon Ball realities for millions of years. That means countless civilizations have vanished simply because he got bored or felt like tidying up. When a child's whims can end more lives than every real-world tragedy combined, you realize we're dealing with something beyond normal understanding. And that's only what he did on screen. But what happens when mass killing comes from a place of genuine belief in doing good? The anti-spiral. The anti-spiral from Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann represents an entire species that achieved ultimate evolution, then made a choice that redefined cosmic horror. They claim to be preserving the universe by suppressing spiral evolution. Here's what happened. They discovered that unlimited growth leads to something called spiral nemesis. Think of it like a universal overflow error, where too much evolution literally breaks reality itself. So, they became the universe's ultimate suppressors, hunting down any species that might grow too powerful. Their kill count is not precisely quantified, but likely reaches into the billions or trillions across eons, because they operate across multiple timelines and entire spiral civilizations. The Multiverse Labyrinth and Death Spiral field show their methods. They trap or suppress civilizations before they can evolve. It's like playing a game where you can edit the code while other players are still trying to level up. The Multiverse Labyrinth shows their true horror. They trap entire civilizations in false realities, where those beings live and die without ever knowing they're prisoners. Whole species experience complete life cycles inside mental prisons, while their bodies waste away. Their Infinity Big Bang Storm doesn't just destroy targets. It prevents the very possibility of existence in targeted areas of spacetime. Imagine deleting not just files, but the hard drive's ability to ever store files again. So, are they genocidal villains or genocidal guardians? Tell us in the comments. But some destroyers aren't motivated by cosmic duty at all. Boros. Imagine being so powerful that you spend 2 decades destroying entire worlds just to find someone who can give you a decent fight. That's exactly what Boros from One Punch Man did. Boros leads the dark matter thieves across the galaxy, and his mission sounds almost reasonable at first. A prophecy told him he'd find his match on a distant blue planet called Earth. The problem is, getting there required wiping out hundreds of worlds along the way. Background sources describe Boros wiping out hundreds of worlds over 20 years, totaling hundreds of billions of deaths. Entire civilizations meant absolutely nothing to him. Think of it like clearing obstacles in a video game, except each obstacle contains billions of living beings. Planets with their own cultures, histories, and dreams got reduced to stepping stones on his path to find a worthy opponent. The most devastating moment comes with his collapsing star roaring cannon. This attack concentrates his entire life force into a planet-destroying blast that can theoretically wipe out entire star systems. It's the ultimate expression of his power, saved for what he believes will be the greatest fight of his existence. What makes this deeply tragic is how it all ends. His ultimate opponent, Saitama, defeats him so easily that 20 years of galactic conquest becomes meaningless in minutes. Boros proves that existential boredom, combined with ultimate power, creates a trail of destruction that spans galaxies. Ask yourself, does winning a fight ever justify billions of deaths? But some destroyers aren't driven by boredom or prophecy at all. Neo. Some appetites grow beyond all natural limits. Neo from Toriko begins as a parasitic entity with what seems like an ordinary hunger. But this appetite transforms into something that threatens entire realities. Unlike conquerors who destroy for power or gods who erase for duty, Neo kills for sustenance. Each meal increased his power, forcing him to eat bigger and bigger targets until whole universes were consumed. His rampage evolves from single planets to entire star systems. Planet-sized fists rain down to shatter continents and reshape night skies. What makes this terrifying is how each victory only makes him hungrier. The true horror unfolds when he achieves universal-scale consumption. Neo literally devoured the blue universe, as shown in the manga panels where he regurgitates countless planets, stars, and celestial bodies that reform Earth's night sky. Each stellar object represents billions of lives he systematically consumed over eons. Billions of civilizations across countless worlds become nothing more than appetizers in his endless feast. Ancient cultures, advanced technologies, entire species with their own dreams and histories get reduced to nutrients for an appetite that can never be filled. Neo shows us the most terrifying truth about cosmic-level killers. He's not evil for power. He's unstoppable because he can't feel full. When hunger becomes the driving force behind universal genocide, appetite itself becomes the most dangerous power in existence. Yet, some killers don't achieve their massive counts through single, devastating acts. Genryusai Shigekuni. Genryusai Shigekuni Yamamoto from Bleach has served as Soul Society's ultimate weapon for over 2 millennia, building his count through relentless warfare across centuries. His Bankai literally references 10 trillion dead. The series itself uses that number, supporting the 10+ trillion figure. The technique Great Fire Burial Ranks of the 10 trillion dead fires shows endless skeletal warriors rising from the ground, each representing 10 trillion dead fires someone Yamamoto has killed with his flames over 2,000 years. His Bankai reaches millions of degrees, hot enough to threaten reality itself. What that means is his kill count didn't happen overnight. His 10+ trillion kills come from countless wars spanning thousands of years. The devastating Quincy War 1,000 years ago was just one conflict in his endless career. He evolved from leading a death squad to becoming Soul Society's protector. But mass killing remained his method of maintaining order. At its core, when a single warrior's career spans millennia, even individual battles accumulate into kill counts that dwarf entire genocides. Each war adds millions more to his total. Each enemy eliminated becomes part of a number so large it loses meaning. Centuries in, his tally stops being numbers and becomes a force of nature. The thing is, Yamamoto's ancient methods seem almost restrained when you consider beings whose destructive power operates as their fundamental purpose. Beerus, when your job description is literally God of Destruction, mass killing becomes a matter of universal maintenance. Beerus, from Dragon Ball Super, doesn't destroy out of malice or hunger. He eliminates threats to maintain cosmic balance across multiple universes. His Hakai technique erases targets from existence entirely, removing them from the fundamental structure of reality. Background material suggests Beerus's actions and role likely put his responsibility for deaths into the billions or even trillions. His casual attitude toward planetary destruction shows up throughout the series as an established character trait. Universe 7 contains only 28 planets with intelligent life, partly due to Beerus's destructive influence over millennia. Single decisions affect entire galactic clusters. One morning stretch might accidentally obliterate a solar system. A bad dream could trigger energy waves that sterilize multiple planets. The most unsettling aspect is his casual attitude. He'll destroy a planet because the food disappointed him, or he lost at a video game. What that means is genocide becomes as routine as deciding what to wear. Beerus demonstrates how divine power operates beyond mortal ethics. Household chores and universal destruction carry the same emotional weight. When gods treat mass extinction like daily maintenance, individual lives lose all meaning. A cat god who treats planet killing like an annoyance. What does that make him to you? But cosmic destroyers aren't always the most disturbing killers on our list. Eren Yeager. Sometimes the most shocking killers are the protagonists we once cheered for. Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan starts as humanity's hope, fighting to protect his people from the man-eating titans that terrorize them for generations. You watch him grow from a determined kid who just wants to see the ocean into humanity's greatest weapon. He masters the Attack Titan's power and discovers the truth about his world. The thing is, future memories reveal something terrible. The only way to secure Eldian freedom is through global genocide. The rumbling unleashes hundreds of thousands of dormant wall titans that had been sleeping as wall constructs for over a century, now awakened and marching in perfect formation. These massive beings systematically flatten everything in their path like a steamroller the size of a continent, except it's made of living weapons. The rumbling resulted in roughly 1.6 billion deaths, about 80% of humanity outside Paradis, per the background material. Every step these titans take crushes entire cities under titanium feet. Families, children, innocent people who never knew about the conflict get reduced to paste beneath unstoppable giants. Eren proves that even heroes can become history's greatest villains when they believe the ends justify any means. The boy who swore to kill all titans became something far worse than any titan ever was. Was this freedom or atrocity? Drop your take below. But personal power isn't the only path to massive destruction. Gihren Zabi. Military leaders can achieve devastating kill counts not through personal power, but through strategic use of technology and terror. Gihren Zabi from Mobile Suit Gundam demonstrates how political ambition, combined with advanced weaponry, creates unprecedented destruction. Operation British begins with a calculated act of genocide. Zeon used G3 nerve gas to kill 50 million colonists, and the resulting colony drop caused immediate casualties, estimated at 320 million. The war overall is tied to roughly 5.9 billion deaths. Think of it like clearing a building before demolition. The gas wipes out the population, but the real devastation comes next. The entire colony gets dropped onto Earth, creating a Sydney impact event with cascading global effects. We're talking about a massive space habitat weighing millions of tons crashing into a major population center. The impact triggered global climate collapse that raised the death toll further. He weaponized colonies and WMDs to maximize civilian casualties. What that means is, single strategic decisions can reshape planets. One military operation triggered environmental chaos that killed more people than the initial attack. At its core, Gihren shows how conventional warfare, when scaled up with futuristic technology, can achieve kill counts rivaling cosmic entities. Is the worst kind of killer the one with a uniform and a plan? Tell us in the comments. The thing is, some killers accumulate their totals through centuries of forced servitude rather than strategic planning. Ryoko Hakubi. Ryoko Hakubi from Tenchi Muyo represents a different kind of mass killer. One created as a weapon and forced to destroy against her will. Born from love but enslaved by Kagato, she became an instrument of cosmic destruction through coercive control. Research references her destruction of 28 planets and 69 colonies, about 97 worlds containing billions of lives. These weren't acts of evil, but the result of absolute enslavement over her immense power. Think of it like being a remote-controlled demolition robot, except you're fully aware of every life you're ending and completely helpless to stop it. Ryoko possessed planetary-level energy manipulation and a ship capable of planetary destruction. But Kagato stripped away her emotions and free will to weaponize these abilities. Each world destroyed represented not conquest but enslavement, with Ryoko as much a victim as those who died by her hand. What makes her story tragic is how she retained memories of every world destroyed, creating internal trauma that persisted even after gaining freedom. At its core, Ryoko has the capacity for love and protecting others. That gentle spirit got twisted into a weapon that annihilated entire civilizations. Her eventual liberation and redemption arc adds emotional weight to every life lost during her period of forced service. You watch her struggle with the guilt of actions she never chose to take. A victim turned weapon. Does that change how you rank the number? But forced destruction seems almost merciful compared to those who plan mass murder across generations. Father, patient planning across centuries creates some of the most devastating kill counts in anime. Father from Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood orchestrates mass murder across generations, beginning with the complete annihilation of Xerxes. Father engineered Xerxes' destruction, approximately 4 million, orchestrated the Ishval conflict, hundreds of thousands, and on the promised day killed 50+ million Emestrians, totaling over 54 million. His 4 million kills in Xerxes were just the foundation for a philosopher's stone that would fuel an even greater atrocity. Think of it like building a battery, except each charge comes from human souls. The entire ancient civilization got converted into raw power for his ultimate plan. He manipulated nations for centuries to position souls where his transmutation circle needed them. The Ishval Civil War adds hundreds of thousands more deaths, but these are merely preparation for the Promised Day massacre. When the nationwide transmutation circle activates during the eclipse, 50+ million Emestrians die instantly, their souls drawn into his form. What makes Father terrifying is his cold, calculated approach to systematic annihilation. Every death was planned, every soul positioned exactly where he needed it. He builds entire countries just to harvest them later. At its core, Father demonstrates how long-term planning can weaponize entire civilizations, turning countries into components of mass murder. Nations become ingredients in recipes for ultimate power. A century-long plan for mass murder. What do you call that? Strategy or horror? Yet even this level of calculated destruction pales compared to what happens when ordinary people suddenly gain absolute power. Ainz Ooal. What happens when an ordinary person gains godlike power and decides that ruling requires systematic elimination of opposition? Ainz Ooal from Overlord starts as a regular player trapped in a game world, but quickly embraces the role of undead Overlord. His transformation from cautious gamer to calculating destroyer shows how absolute power can corrupt even ordinary people. He treats conquest like a strategy game, where you realize you can just spawn infinite armies and crush everything. The Ia Shub Niggurath spell demonstrates his terrifying efficiency. Ia Shub Niggurath wiped 70,000 instantly, and summoned Darkyoung that killed another approximately 110,000, with broader orchestrated actions adding over 8 million, putting his responsible toll in the 9+ million range. What that means is Ainz can eliminate entire armies with single casting decisions, turning warfare into point-and-click destruction. His systematic destruction of the Riestai's kingdom proves that fantasy rulers can achieve modern genocide scales. The thing is, he approaches each massacre with cold calculation rather than emotional investment. What makes Ainz chilling is his dual nature. Part strategic gamer optimizing for efficiency, part undead monster embracing systematic murder. He calculates the most effective methods for population control while maintaining the emotional distance of someone managing data. At its core, Ainz proves that the most dangerous killers might be those who approach mass murder with the cold logic of game mechanics. Is rational cruelty worse than impulsive destruction? Vote in the comments. But some killers don't achieve their massive counts through strategic campaigns or single devastating spells. Alucard. Alucard from Hellsing represents the ultimate supernatural predator, accumulating kills through centuries of individual acts of vampiric predation. His origins trace back to Vlad the Impaler, but his transformation into an immortal vampire created something far more terrifying than any mortal tyrant. His 3+ million kills span centuries of vampiric existence, with each death adding another soul to his supernatural army. Each consumed life becomes a pawn in his arsenal. The thing is, these aren't just numbers. They're actual souls trapped inside him, retaining their memories and abilities from life. The Level 0 release during the London incident reveals the true scope of his killing. An army of 3+ million consumed souls from different eras manifests as a physical force that stretches beyond the horizon. Medieval knights, Ottoman troops, and countless others emerge as a kaleidoscopic army, each representing individual murders across history. What makes Alucard unique is how his kills become weapons. Every life taken strengthens his power for future battles. Each soul creates a diverse supernatural force under his command, turning centuries of predation into military might. At its core, Alucard shows how immortal predators can accumulate kill counts that span the rise and fall of entire civilizations. His army represents patient hunting across eras, from medieval battlefields through modern warfare. 3 million souls turned into soldiers. Creepy or awesome? Say why below. Yet, massive numbers don't always tell the complete story about what makes a killer truly terrifying. Esdeath. Our journey ends with someone whose kill count might seem small by comparison, but whose methods reveal the most intimate form of mass murder. Esdeath from Akame ga Kill represents the perfect fusion of personal combat skill and systematic military genocide. Background references estimate Esdeath's kills around 400,000, largely from genocidal northern campaigns and military actions. Her kills come from hands-on leadership of imperial campaigns, making her both general and executioner. Think of it like a chef who insists on personally preparing every dish. Except the dishes are entire populations, and the kitchen is a battlefield. The demon's extract Tegu grants her cryokinetic powers that can freeze entire lakes and manipulate the atmosphere itself. This dangerous imperial arm drove previous users insane, but Esdeath's sadistic nature allowed her to control its devastating potential. Her signature Mahapadma freezes time and space for others, making her attacks nearly unstoppable while in use. The thing is, this technique targets the fundamental fabric of space-time itself. What makes Esdeath terrifying isn't just her power, but her genuine enjoyment of both intimate combat and large-scale slaughter. She operates under the philosophy that the strong survive and the weak die, treating violence as both tool and entertainment. She kills up close, and by policy, personal cruelty multiplied by military power. At its core, Esdeath proves that sometimes the most frightening killers are those who never lose the personal touch, even during genocide. These characters show us how power operates beyond normal limits, crossing lines that reshape our understanding of destruction itself. From roughly 400,000 to quadrillions, anime kill counts span human-scale genocide to universe-erasing gods. Whether driven by hunger, duty, boredom, or protection, each proves that in anime, the power to end life operates on scales that challenge our understanding of morality itself. Which one surprised you most? And is that number fair? Comment below. Subscribe for more ranked anime lists, like if a number shocked you, and drop your hottest correction or ranking in the comments.